Hey you guys, this is Michael Lehre coming to you from what was once formerly sunny San Diego, California to now, for the past few days, off and on for the past few weeks, rainy San Diego, California. I'm on my way home, but I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that happen quite often to me when I'm working out at the gym. I go to the gym every day. It's just who I am. You know, I'm not a professional bodybuilder, but I am a bodybuilder. But I'm also a mind builder, a soul builder. I like to work out that spirit that's in me, work out what I have and develop what the within. So I'm sculpting everything in my life. Sculpting my mind, my thinking realm, my soul realm. I have the Spirit of Christ in me. I'm learning to tune into that Spirit of Christ, working out that salvation gift that I have, working it out, not working for it, developing what's already been given to me. Just like muscles, I'm developing the muscles that I've already been given at birth. I'm not able to add additional muscles to my body. Like tricep means 3 parts of a muscle, tri. Your quadricep, which is 4 parts, is down at your legs, and guess what? Your tricep on your arm will never be a quadricep because it's not 4, it's 3. That's why they call it tri. So I can't add an additional muscle. What I'm doing is developing the muscles I already have. See, I'm an artist. I've been one all my life. I'm not claiming to be the greatest artist. Art is always in the eye of the beholder. Some people might tell you I'm the greatest artist that ever lived, in their opinion, because maybe it's something that they like my artwork. You see what I'm saying? Just like I would never claim to be the greatest hairstylist that ever lived, like I do the best haircuts ever out of everybody. It's all in the eyes of the beholder. You might like the way I cut your hair, but somebody else might like how the barber down his street cuts his hair for way cheaper. And then another person might like to go to one of those quickie salons that they go in, get out, and they like that. It's artwork, but it's different, you know? It's all in the eyes of the beholder. So, I take pride in what I do, although I'm not saying I'm a proud person as far as puffed up and arrogant. Although doing the fitness stuff that I do, it might seem that I'm puffed up and arrogant, but please don't ever confuse somebody that has an artist's mind like myself, that uses their own body as art. I'm sculpting my body right now, and I'm enjoying it because there's a discipline behind it, and I was born with the mind of an artist. It's who I am. So sculpting my body has nothing to do with narcissism or conceit or being puffed up and arrogant. It really doesn't. There's a discipline behind it. Artists can understand this. Even if the artist doesn't sculpt their body, they understand what I'm saying. And if you have an artistic mind, an artist's mind, you understand what I'm saying. I get artists. We all have something similar in common, although we're not all the exact same, but there's a similarity that we all know about in our mind realm, our thinking. So, as an artist that not only draws, not only uses art as something that I do for a living as far as sculpting people's hair, right, in an artistic fashion. I'm an artist with music. I'm not a musician that can play instruments. I'd like to learn some, but I've been writing songs for years. I started young, and I wrote and recorded many songs. I liked doing vocals. I was learning to become better with vocals. I wanted to be a professional songwriter at one time. I was young. I was in the hairstyling business I started at age 18 when I started learning how to do hair, and then I got licensed shortly after I did the schooling and all that, and I've been doing it ever since, many years. 1990s when I started. We're already in 2023. It's a long time. But back in my younger days, when I was around maybe 19, 20, maybe 21-ish, right around there, I was doing this guy's hair. He was a regular client of mine, meaning he came to me all the time, requested me to cut his hair, made appointments with me. He was an interesting guy. He was much, much older than me, and he liked to get his hair permed, where you know what a perm is? When you get these perm rods that make your hair go from straight to curly. It's called getting a perm. So this guy would come in and get a really tight perm with me. He liked his hair really, really curly. His hair was naturally straight, but he liked to keep it curly, and he looked like a dude that jumped out of a band, a music band from the 70s, maybe even the late 60s. And his name was Woody. And Woody was a drummer. So he was a musician. He owned a recording studio. He had played with a band called the Beach Boys at one time in his life, not as the primary drummer, but he was kind of he'd be hired to be a backup drummer for them if they ever needed a backup drummer. So he knew the guys that played in a band called the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys, guys that sang "Little Surfer, Little One." Do you remember that song? Make my world come all undone. Do you love me? Do you, surfer girl? Now, he played with that band, and he knew these guys. And he said the funny thing is, all their music was about surfing and like a California lifestyle, but none of them surfed. None of them surfed. So he was an interesting guy. His name was Woody. We were talking one day about music, and I told him how I like to write songs and record them, and he wanted to hear a demonstration of my songs. So I let him hear it and see the lyrics, and he loved my stuff, and he says I had a talent to go professional. He says, I mean, of course I'd have to take vocal lessons and all that if I wanted to be a singer, but I was a songwriter. I liked singing, but I didn't ever take any lessons or anything like that, at the time. And so he asked me, I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a singer, a songwriter, or both? Now, I was a Jehovah's Witness at the time. I didn't imagine me going and trying to be a famous singer or anything, because I took my religion very serious, and that would not be something that I should be shooting for as a Jehovah's Witness. So I definitely wanted to be a songwriter, and I told him I'd like to be a songwriter. I said I don't mind singing the song so that whoever wants to sing them professionally can hear how the song goes. But I'd like to do lyrics, and he says that's a great idea. He says people have more success choosing one instead of trying to do both. He says it's possible to do both, but choosing one was great. And he said I had a talent for song lyrics. So I was about to do some recording in his studio, and the woman that he was dating, and I was also her hairstylist too, she came by the hair salon I was working at and to let me know that Woody had died. So Woody passed away of a heart attack, I think it was. I think that was what it was. It was kind of sudden, and so Woody was gone. There went my opportunity for becoming a songwriter, and I never pursued it after that. The wind got taken out of my sail, as they say. The reason I wanted to mention this is because I've been doing art things a long time, artistic things, and like I said, I'm not claiming to be the best, but I have the mind of an artist. Music is an art. Hairstyling's an art. Drawing, of course, is an art. And sculpting your physique is an art. And I do believe that sculpting your mind is an art too, meaning training your mind the way you train your body. Developing your mind the way you want to develop your body, but doing even more so on the inner person, right? Even when I'm at the gym, it seems like it's very physical what I'm doing, but I'm telling you, there's a whole bunch going on the inside. I'm developing everything. I listen to spiritual things when I'm working out that feed my soul, things of the spirit that feed my soul. I'm constantly in communication with God all the time. And when I'm communicating with other people at the gym, I'm trying to be the man that God made me to be. Tune into that guy. Be a light in that gym, hopefully. And fortunately, a lot of people see that in me, and I love that because they see that it's not an ego thing after all when they get to know me. I care about people, and I love to help people, and I love to inspire. That's why I do this YouTube stuff. But you know, there's something that is difficult for people. The most difficult thing for people that talk to me at the gym, that want to know how I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I'm telling you, I'm taking things in my life to a whole different level, you guys. A whole different level. And I want to inspire people in every way. Spirit, soul, mind, body, everything, the whole package. And I'm moving in that direction. And my plan is to set up some things pretty soon where maybe I'll have something online somehow that if you want to learn some technique and all that to develop yourself even physically, I kind of feel like I want to do something like that, but it's going to take some recording, camera, footage, making videos, whether I put them on YouTube or a different platform, we'll see. But going back to what I was saying, the most difficult thing I have found from people that want to know how I'm doing, what it takes, you know, all that. The most difficult thing is their diet. When I tell people, well, I don't eat carbs. Now, you might have a view of carbs, and carbs might do your body well. For me, I do much better without them, and it's not difficult for me anymore I don't have the craving anymore, just like I don't crave alcohol at all. I don't crave carbohydrates ever anymore. I don't desire to eat a piece of bread anymore. I don't desire to eat ice cream. I don't desire it. Now, I don't know how to teach something like that. It's a mindset. How do you teach a mindset? I can encourage the mindset, but I don't know how to teach it. But what I can say to you is this. Understanding how a mindset works. Trust me, I do. I understand a mindset. When I left Jehovah's Witnesses religion at 30 years of age, I had a mindset that I will never look back with regrets, and I never have. My mind was set. I'm not saying I knew everything about everything, but I knew one thing for sure, 100%, without any shadow of a doubt whatsoever. And that was that religion was lying to me and lying to everybody else as well. I just so happened to be fortunate enough to investigate the religion I was born and raised in. I investigated. they always said, make the truth your own. And they said, their religion was the truth, so make it your own. Well, I made the truth my own by investigating. Is this religion the truth? No, it's not. I found out it's not, biblically speaking. I mean, you can take all the stuff that they're hypocritical for and all the corruption that's involved in it, but biblically speaking, their theology is completely off and they don't even know it. I didn't know it, but I investigated and I did my work. And you know what? It was worth it. And so I set my mind and I never looked back with regrets ever. Never wondered if I made the right choice or not. And I lost so much because of it. But my losses were also my greatest gains. If you understand that. You gain so much. I'm not saying materialistically or anything like that. It's inward. It's an inward gain. So the most difficult thing for people though is diet. When I tell them I'm carb free, even, I'm not telling people, hey, be carb free. They're asking me personally. See, I'm not starting a religious thing. Metaphorically speaking, as far as bodybuilding goes, I'm not starting some kind of thing. I'm saying everybody needs to eat no carbs, eat only high protein and high fat. I eat a high fat, high protein diet. High fat and high protein and no carbs. If I get carbs, they're trace carbs. Like if I have a piece of cheese or something, if I melt cheese in my scrambled eggs, which I put some of that in, I'm sure cheese has a little bit of carbs. I'm sure there's a lot of things that have trace carbs. I'm not talking about not 1 gram of carbohydrate at all. I'm sure there's trace carbs, but I don't purposely put carbs in my food. I have a sugar-free diet, a carb-free diet, and then it's protein and fats. And I feel great, amazing. I've never felt better in my whole life, and I've never looked better in my whole life. So I'm defying everything that I'm supposed to be at age soon to be 51. That's not me bragging. Once again, please don't confuse this for me bragging about myself or anything. It's not. I'm just telling you as it is, and I have the mind of an artist. I'm sculpting. My body's like a canvas for me. Not to go looking amazing for everybody else. This is for me. And you don't know what kind of spiritual stuff it does for you when you are disciplined, you guys, in all 3 aspects of your life. I'm not saying I'm perfectly disciplined in all 3 aspects. That's not what I am saying. When I say 3 aspects, I'm not talking about spirit. I'm talking soul, mind, and body. Spirit, when you have the Spirit of Christ, your spirit's perfect. There is no making your spirit better, stronger. It is perfect. It is full of the dunamis. That's the Greek word for dynamite, for power. The dunamis power of God in me, right? God's Spirit's in me. I don't need to grow God. God doesn't need to grow. It's my soul and mind that need to grow. And when I'm in the gym, I'm growing my body. Whether I'm making my muscles bigger or not, I am developing everything. I'm sculpting everything. I'm fine-tuning everything. I'm tightening everything up. And it's really, really fun. And it's discipline, but I love it. You guys, I love the discipline. I love it. And if you've been there and you know what I'm talking about, and I love helping people that want it. Not people that are going to waste my time. Because there's a whole bunch of time wasters. You spend your time, you show them something, you teach them stuff about diet and all that, and they never do it. Waste of my time. I value my time. I've learned over these years to value my time. That time is a precious thing. It's like Jesus said, don't cast your pearls to swine. What's that mean? He's saying your time is valuable, right? So whether you're teaching something to somebody, helping someone, whatever, and in casting your pearls to swine, your time is valuable like pearls. And if you throw pearls into a pig pen, they're just going to stomp all over them, bury them in the mud, poop and pee all over them, maybe even eat them, who knows? Roll around, they don't appreciate pearls. So he's saying, don't spend your quality time on people that aren't going to appreciate it, okay? And so when people do appreciate it, it's really amazing. I'm working with somebody at the gym right now, someone that asked me if I would help, and I'm helping this person. And this person's making amazing progress quickly. And I'm like proud to be a part of that, helping someone and seeing the results manifesting. Like, wow, you're learning quick and you're doing a great job. The most difficult thing for people, though, when they do ask me, how do I do it and what's my secret? This girl at the gym this morning asked me if I'm 2% body fat. I don't think I could be alive if I'm 2% body fat. I don't know what body fat percentage I am. I don't care. I just know it's gone. There is no body fat. I can't see it anyway. So it's low. But I said, well, obviously I'm at the gym every day. I'm working out, but it's diet. It's my diet. Your diet is everything that you take into your body, right? But guess what? There's another diet, you guys. And God's been talking to me a lot about this lately. There's a whole bunch of shows like on Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and Disney and what's another one? You know them all. HBO Max. There's just all these different apps, and somebody was talking to me as I was cutting their hair today if I saw some show that's on Paramount Plus. And I'm like, man, I don't think I have that. And that's just another thing to buy. And I'm just like, there's so many shows out right now. And there's a lot of stuff that's interesting. I've seen some documentaries. I seem to enjoy documentaries and stuff, but there's so many things, man. If you get caught up in all that, you could spend all day, every day watching different shows. I'm sure there are people that do that are at home. Maybe they have money, finances are taken care of somehow, and they have the time. I don't know, but you can spend a whole lot of time feeding your mind these things that are online, on TV, however you watch them, these apps. And I'm telling you, there's a bunch. And I was thinking about that as I was at the gym this morning. I was thinking about what I was listening to, right? I was thinking about what things do I watch on YouTube sometimes or other things. What am I putting into my mind? Because I want to watch what I put into my mind, as far as not watch like what I'm watching, but watch, like be cautious, right? Be just as cautious about what's going in my mind as what I'm putting in my body. I'm so careful about what I feed my body, but what about my mind? Because it's connected to your soul, right? Your soul realm. So what am I feeding my soul with my mind? Is my mind feeding on the spirit, or is my mind feeding a lot on that toxic junk food out there? Junk food for the mind. People have a saying when they have a cheat day. I used to have my cheat days. And then your cheat day, you always say, I'm going to treat myself. And the truth is, most cheat days, when you're treating yourself, you're actually not treating yourself. You're actually doing opposite. It's your day to be reckless. I know some people say, well, it's good for your metabolism. Listen, I'm not saying it's poison all the time, but I'm just saying your cheat days, maybe it does a little trickery for your metabolism, but really, somebody's going to treat themselves to getting drunk. Somebody's going to treat themselves to having a cigarette or 2 or 5. Is it actually beneficial? I'm not saying moderation of anything you do is bad. I'm not talking about moderation. I'm just saying, is it truly, truly, truly improving your life, health-wise? Right? So the things that we put into our minds or bodies, are we improving the health of our minds and bodies? Now, I'm not here to rip on you if you aren't always doing healthy. That's not what I'm getting at all. I'm just trying to use examples. I'm just trying to talk about how do you think about what you're feeding your mind, right? When you read the Bible, you're not feeding your spirit. I know people say you need to feed your spirit. No, your spirit doesn't need to be fed. Your spirit's not hungry. It's your soul. Because you can feed your soul with spirit by feeding your mind with spirit, and it feeds your soul. Or you could feed your mind with the carnal things, with junk food, which feeds your soul. And Bible says that as a man's soul prospers, well, that's how he prospers. Your prosperity will come through to how you're prospering your soul. Prosper in Greek means to do well, doing well. So are you doing well for your soul? Because as your soul prospers, that's how you'll be. As a man thinks in his soul, the scripture says in the Old Testament, as a man thinks in his soul, nephesh in Hebrew, soul. That's how his life will be, right? You have the Spirit of God when you believe, but you still got to tune that soul into it. We have a soul for a reason. You understand? And it's important how we feed our soul. And the soul gets fed through what you're feeding it with the mind. You understand that? I just wanted to give you some food for thought today. Really think about, what am I feeding my mind? Right? The reason I talk about it is because I am an artist. I sculpt things. I see things in an artist type of way. I know how the artist thinks. I have an artist mind. So I think about these things, not only just what I'm doing with my body or what I'm drawing on paper. I'm also trying to think about, how am I developing my mind? How am I really, really, really getting that mind tuned in, defined, set, sculpted, right? Because it's a gift that God gave you. It's our job to take what He's given us and treat it well, develop it well, use it right. You understand? It's your choice, you guys. It's your choice. You got to make a decision. And now's the time. Now is the time. Because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be feeding your minds out there, feeding your minds, feeding your minds. You'll be hearing and hearing and hearing a whole bunch of stuff, and you'll put faith in what you hear, as the scripture says. Faith comes by hearing. But what do you want to be hearing? Hearing the word of the world or hearing the word of Christ? What do you think? Just something to think about. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. We'll see you next time.